Back.
Okay, welcome back to the madness. So we had a fun intermission where Shriv was hearing voices, and Pixie told me an awesome joke. So we were talking about what we were playing, and we were talking about the MK trailer, and in the chat, you guys were entertaining yourselves. I was talking about how I call Melina Baraka Lips because she's my favorite.
By the way, Jericho, thanks for that joke. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Twerky.
And let's all thank Aegon here for saving the day and jumping in as producer tonight. We're very excited.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to jump to Miss Kate Edwards. I know you don't have a lot of time to play, but are you playing anything in particular, or just what you on?
Let's see. I'm still lagging behind. I'm like somewhere halfway in GTA 5. I don't know where, I forget. The problem with me when I play that game, well, it's just like, all I like to do is go steal planes and fly them around and try and land them. So, then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to actually be doing stuff. So, eventually I get back on track. But so sometimes the sandbox world is just like a huge distraction for me, like a cat chasing a laser. So I've got Assassin's Creed Black Flag that I've been toying with because I've loved that series. I played Bejeweled Blitz every day. I still am. For whatever reason.
Be Facebook friends.
Yeah. Okay. So for whatever reason,
Are you Candy Crushing too?
No, I do not touch that game.
Problem. I was gonna have to unfriend you then.
Candy Crush.
I have never.
Why are you mentioning that on this show?
Yep. Now we're gonna lose viewers. Anyway, continue, Kate.
I have, for whatever reason, I'm still building up my Avengers and the Avengers Alliance on Facebook.
Oh, nice.
And it's just like a lot of my friends have stopped playing, but I'm just like, I keep sending them on their drug runs every night in their planes, and I don't know, just building up. I just got a ridiculous amount of money. I don't know. I kind of like playing it, but.
So what's your guilty pleasure game that you want to admit to us that you still go back to that you know you really, really shouldn't?
Oh, that I shouldn't. If I had the console set up, the one game that I would be playing almost every day is Pokemon Puzzle League.
Woo! I hear that's
game.
addictive.
I loved that game. It was awesome. We used to have so much fun with that game, and yeah, that's a long time ago, but it was fun. I still remember it. I mean, of all the games I've played, it's one game that really stands out. That it was a blast to play.
So, Nikki, what's your guilty pleasure game that you're going to tell all of our friends here in chat that you play that could be quite embarrassing?
Oh, and embarrassing? Guilty pleasure game?
Guilty pleasure.
I don't know if it's a guilty pleasure. I play some... I troll through goodoldgames.com, G-O-G, and I play a lot of games that I've grown up with. And to admit this game is... I don't know. It's Rex, Nebula, and the Gender Bender. No.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, we still love you.
I mean, it's fair. But it's an old Microprose game from years and years and years and years and can I say years and years ago again?
Sure.
And yeah, right. Let me bring it up. It was. It's a cool kind of like Leisure Suit Larry type game.
Oh my God,
remember when adventure games were fun to play? Do you remember that, Kate? When adventure games were fun to play?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they were cool. Not that you're anywhere near my age, but
Becca, what's your guilty
you might be surprised.
Yeah, we don't. I admitted my age a couple of times just to shut people up. That's all.
Okay. I'm hitting the 5-0 in February, so.
Oh shit! You're just a little bit older than me.
Neither of you look it.
And you're February. You're older.
Let me tell you what.
Unbelievable.
We are gonna send some cake and some pie, and let you decide what you want. But we're gonna send you both the same thing. Yeah,
I mean that's one game, but all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Steam had Tropico 5 on it.
What?
I've never played that game in my life. And if you just play it and listen to the girl that is the DJ on the island that you're trying to build cities or whatever on it, it just cracks you up. That is a fun game. So Tropico 5 is the one I've been spending the most time on besides that. But that's the two guilty pleasures I have. That's it. Tropico 5 and Rex Nebula.
What about you?
I forgot to mention one that that will never die for me. It's the Atari Star Wars, the Vector one.
Oh,
that was the
shit.
arcade game.
so awesome.
When I was in
That
high
is taking me
school,
back.
that
Woo.
was the very best game. I was the best at that. I could put 1/4 in and never stop playing it. And there's a pristine version of it down in Portland at Ground Control Arcade. So every time I'm in Portland, I go in and play it.
That's amazing.
That is
Portlandia.
taking it old school. That is great. That is I'm just my mind just.
Carmen, what are you playing?
Well, currently.
Yeah.
Kill the migraine.
Yeah, through the migraine. Yeah. Currently, I'm really not playing much, but I have to say I have this, issue with migraines, and so I cannot sleep. And I've been up late nights, and I decided to play some Plants vs. Zombies, and I just got sucked into Plants vs. Zombies.
That's my
I have to
jam.
admit it. I'm just
Awesome.
like this. This is fabulous. I play it on the phone.
Awesome.
Totally love it.
Did you see the Apple announcements? How they're bringing it to the iPad?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I heard
really
that.
excited about that because I love the how crisp and clean it looks on there in comparison to my.
Now, which Plants vs. Zombies are we talking about? The first-person
I'm on
shooter?
Plants vs. Zombies 2.
No, I'm on.
No. Oh, so you're not talking about the first-person shooter?
No.
Oh, that
No,
thing.
not Garden Warfare.
My
Yeah.
13-year-olds play that, and it looks.
I want to
awesome.
get to Garden Warfare.
It's
I do.
amazing.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
Pixie's like amazing.
She's
What are
not
you
talking
playing,
all of a
Pixie?
sudden.
So I bought Among the Sleep, because toddler horror is gonna be OP. I actually watched the preview for the game. Scared the crap out of myself because horror games I'm just not good with. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna stream it so that people can watch me scream like a baby and cry potentially because it might
This is what we
happen.
want.
And then I bought Where Is My Heart, and I bought Where Is My Heart because it's rated E for everyone. For those of you who have children and might want to get them to play it, it's really pixelated, really adorable. But it reminds me of a movie that I used to love when I was a kid called Once Upon a Forest. And these badgers, this tanker full of toxic chemicals spills near this forest and gets all of these forest animals sick and their trees and plants start to die off and they have to go on an adventure
sad.
to get this magical plant to heal everybody, to make this
Tragic.
special medicine. And it's adorable and sweet and cute and I love it. And I saw Where Is My Heart and I immediately thought of that and I was like, yes, buy now. Must
Jericho
get.
says that he's going to fight you for the stream rights for that game, so you guys are going to have it out. Might have
you
to
guys
rock,
are
paper,
gonna have
scissors this one.
And then
yeah.
and then of course I'm still playing Icy. I'm
Yeah.
never going to stop playing
Yeah.
Icy. We finally have the full team roster.
Yeah.
Shut the front
We will be
door!
rocking that out very, very soon.
OMG, I'm excited.
So yeah, we
roster.
actually have a fabulous article up by Christopher Cash. Really goes in depth as far as his experiences with Infinite Crisis, and I suggest you guys give that a read. It's very good.
He's
Okay.
totally on
Where
the
is that
team
article
too.
from?
That article is right on our homepage. You'll see it with a super awesome Infinite Crisis logo and cool picture of just mass wreckage. So yes,
wreckage.
definitely. So as we get into what we've been watching, I'm just gonna go ahead and kick off try to keep it spoiler free, but Game of
Oh no,
Thrones.
we need a big
conversation.
red spoiler
Spoiler alert.
alert to put
Spoiler
on this.
alert.
Spoiler alert.
I mean, give me a break.
So we're gonna talk. Well, here, let me give you an example. We're gonna talk about some do-it-yourself facial reconstruction. We're gonna talk about
No,
standing next to crazy bitches next to gaping holes.
Aegon's got to find Pop Goes the Weasel and just play it.
Yeah.
So
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
excited.
We're
Here's
going
what
to
I'm
talk
gonna
about
say.
some parkour because that was going on.
Yeah, that was totally going on. And so what did we learn? So we learned that when you monologue, shit goes bad. We learned
I
that.
am Anita Montoya. You killed my
Yeah,
father.
I do. I was saying that the whole scene. I was
Exactly.
dying.
Somebody needs to meme. We need a meme.
So,
I was
oh, it's
looking
gonna happen
good.
if it hasn't
It's gonna
already.
happen.
On the screen.
That
So,
was that was incredible. So, and we also learned. I'm kind of excited. I had a feeling that with Sansa's recent encounters, that she would get that he might turn her out a little bit and make her Littlefinger make her a little evil. And now she's at least interesting. Because honestly, I've kind of wanted to smack her upside the head the whole damn show.
Well, she doesn't
But
cry.
that's an awesome
Yeah,
performance
come
by her,
on.
though. That was incredible.
Yeah. And her costumes are getting really fly too.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of the
Awesome.
dressed
Yeah.
her
Yeah, she got very Maleficent. Like she was
Very
walking out the
much.
stairs.
She was dressed to look like Lysa.
Yeah. Well, no,
Yeah,
Lysa
I
was
know.
a mess, and her
I know,
boobs
but
were
she was
okay.
wearing one of Lysa's
Yeah.
dresses.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, but
And
she's
the
cooler
dark
than Lysa.
hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty. I was
It
like,
was.
Yeah, I was
And
like,
Littlefinger's
whoa.
like, well, when she was
Not
lying
yet.
for him and he's smirking, he's actually a
Correct.
great actor because he's smirking like, oh shit, I've actually turned this bitch
we all
around.
sounded like Joey when she walked around the corner. We're like, whoa.
Ooh, yeah,
I'm just
wow.
wondering
Whoa.
how caustic is
Whoa.
this guy to keep fucking with the Starks the way he does? Am I allowed to say that? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I say
you just
fuck.
said
I've
it.
called people
I'm
cunts
sorry,
on this one.
but I mean, how many times as one Stark that close to another Stark child and not
I know.
with
Dude, when
Lena?
Arya started laughing, I was in
Oh my
tears.
God.
I love that.
She goes,
I
oh,
love that.
she's dead. You ain't getting your payday. And she's like,
Cracking up. I love her.
So-
I
My
love
favorite-
that.
I
Arya's
do
my favorite.
too. Like,
so
I would have
nuts.
laughed too, but
my
like, you're
favorite-
stupid. You
My
suck.
favorite part of Game of Thrones right now is the Arya and Hound show. I just want to show
Yes.
those two. That's it.
You know what I
Yep.
sing because I watch too much Robin Big? He's my best friend. So
oh my god,
Do
when
them.
she was in a-
Oh God.
when she was like, "What? I don't know his name."
Yeah.
And
Don't-
then the guy tells, and she's just like,
I'm good
"Ugh,
at shake.
Yeah.
just yes, shake him, just yes."
Yeah.
She's
Awesome.
bat 1,000. I love her.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
I mean, that
so now
show
we kind of gotten not sure what.
No, I'm saying that show never fails to shock the bejesus out of me.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just
You know
like,
what?
that's
There's
what they
always
do.
something.
I mean,
every episode, and
I watched
I'm
that
so
one
excited.
yeah, I watched that one episode of Breaking Bad where he watches, Jesse's girlfriend die and just lets it.
Yeah.
I'm screaming at the show. This tops that. I'm like,
Yeah.
shut up, walk
Yeah,
away.
no. Shock factor is great, but yeah. So that was pretty fun. You know what I was actually thinking about, and I don't know if any of you have ever watched Rome on HBO, but I was comparing Atia to Cersei, who is the bigger rich evil bitch, and they're kind of on par. I mean,
Have you just
Atia
stopped
though I
again?
think wins in bitch mode because she was not afraid to like attempt to have a woman raped, pimp her daughter out for whatever the fuck she wants.
You don't think Cersei would do that? Oh,
Cersei
yeah,
No,
does
Cersei
that.
loves her kids, dude.
She loves her kids, but
sent
if
one
it
of them
came
off to
down
Davos.
to
Atia loved Augusta, and Atia loved her kids, but was not
yeah,
afraid
seriously,
to.
if it came down to
Yeah.
it, if it was her or them kids, she'd push them off into the big hole. There
I
would
don't
be
know.
no
No,
problem.
she
she's
sent
crazy.
one kid off to Davos, right? Wasn't that what
Well,
she
no,
sent?
Yes.
no, to Dorne, and that was
Imp
Dorne,
sent-
Dorne.
That's why she's mad
Yeah.
at him because
Yeah,
Yeah.
the imp sent them
Yeah.
over.
because she just the whole arranged marriage thing just sickens her, and obviously she had
Yeah.
a shit experience with Robert, but that doesn't mean you go brother fucking anyway. So
Anyway, let me
whoa,
tell you what
brother,
I've
what?
been watching, because we're going to be on Game of Thrones all
Yes,
night.
forever.
I'm sorry. So
What about the show that starts today?
Well, hold on. I'm getting there. The whole first season I binge watched of Comedy Central's Drunk History,
which is amazing.
so that I can get ready for season 2. But it was amazeballs, and I wanted to get my junior achiever to watch it, but it wasn't appropriate. I wanted her to see this awesomeness that is Drunk History, but I that was vetoed in my mommy right mind. I had to be like, no,
Super good
you can't
mother.
watch it with me. But I
She
wanted to
watched it at her
share
friend's
because she
house.
would think it's funny if she was about 7 years older, and I could be
As long
like,
as she
this is
understands
great.
How unfunny those hangovers are gonna be.
Yes, yes.
Totally watch that.
Right.
That shit
Oh
sucks.
man! And then, what's coming out today, Nikki?
I don't know. You're gonna tell me.
I'm gonna tell you, Orange is the New Black season 2. People, I'm so freaking excited! I can't help it. I can't wait.
She just ships her pants.
I am gonna slide off this chair right now.
Well,
It's fantabulous.
Bonks and you just gave me 2 more shows to watch this week, though. Now I have to go watch the entire series of Rome and Drunk
Yes.
History.
Rome is spectacular. If you're history nerd, Rome is cool.
Hey,
Ancient
and,
Rome is always
you know,
awesome.
I haven't seen
Orphan
either.
Black's pretty good too. I'm still loving that.
Oh, Orphan Black is awesome.
I have a girl crush going on.
Now, Pixie, you're watching Penny Dreadful. How are you enjoying that?
Oh my god, it's so good. So spoiler alert, but Dorian Gray is in it, of course. It's kind of like I'm starting to get the vibe that it's kind of a little bit like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but not quite. It's a little bit a little bit better. It's a
Uh-oh.
lot better. But it's still got that same vibe with the like connotations on like Dracula and Frankenstein and the Wolfman. And I think there are some really interesting things that are going to come up that you're going to see come to light in the next episode. Like I think we're going to actually find out who the Wolfman is, and you're going to kind of put two and two together when like you watch the next couple of episodes. But I'm super excited about that. And I'm actually rewatching all of the Science of Sex because
Ooh,
that
I
show
was gonna watch
so
that,
good.
but
That's
I
a goodie.
didn't.
Yeah, it's so
I was gonna
good.
binge. I was gonna binge, but I didn't get there.
So all I'm gonna say is that Silicon Valley ended on an amazing note, an amazing, perverted,
That
ridiculous
was the
note.
end of the season?
That season, yeah. And it was so out of control. I was in tears, laughing so hard because it was so Mike Judge. It was a perfect first season ending. Watch it if you haven't. Even if you've never watched the show before, that episode can kind of put into a little wrapper everything that's been going on with Silicon Valley. So I strongly recommend it. And Kate, what are you been watching anything?
I don't watch much television anymore. I don't have
Good for
time
you.
for it. I don't even have time to play games, for crying out loud. But no,
Well, we don't
I
watch real TV. We just watch Hulu.
No,
or
I
whatever
watch.
the
I
case may
do
be.
watch. I watch Game of Thrones. I watch Walking Dead. I was very big into Breaking Bad when it was on. I love House of Cards. I totally
Ooh,
binged on that
yeah, that's
show.
good too.
I think Silicon Valley's next on my hit list to
Yeah,
get
do it,
around
girl.
Yes,
to.
ma'am.
I love
I'm
it.
calling you next week to make sure you watched all 8 episodes.
We
Yes.
love some Silicon Valley.
Oh God,
You
it's
know-
awesome.
But lately, I've been doing stuff like I watched on around the weekend of May 4th. I watched all 6 Star Wars films in a row, which I've never
Nice.
done that before. Even
That
though
was
In
my
what
husband's
order?
bachelor party. That's what he
I did it. I did it 1 through 6.
You didn't do
So-
the machete order.
No, I didn't. Even though we all know Empire Strikes Back is the best one, but I still kind of, worked through the first 3 and then got onto the good stuff.
You didn't
So
just throw one out in the garbage and forget about it. No.
no, and
What are
then
you-
yeah,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Kate. I apologize.
No, I was just gonna say I'm gonna probably do that with the Harry Potter films. Why do I do that? I don't know. I stream movies while I work, so while I'm
Nice.
sitting here ripping through email, it's just it gives me something to sort of distract and add some white noise, and I might as well make it something interesting.
Cool. I love it. All right, Nikki, what you got? What are you watching, girl?
Same thing we just talked about. It's
Okay,
like,
well, fine.
it's like
Nikki's playing catch up.
Bonks tells me what to watch each week. So it's like next week when she says, "What are you watching?" I'm gonna say,
Rick and
Well,
Morty.
Yeah, Rick and
Roman
That's
Morty
what we
pretty
watch.
tight.
Orange is
Rick
the
and
New
Morty.
Black, and that's gonna be it.
Okay, so we're
Fox,
gonna get
still
to
good.
what the title of our show is about. Glenn Beck losing his cookies over some goddamn video games. So I watched this video. Actually, Patrick Scott Patterson, a PSP, was the one who pointed this out to me, and I haven't stopped laughing since. Glenn Beck, with his new spectacles and bow tie and very indie look, did his thing where he goes on this 11-minute rant, and he starts off kind of talking about Call of Duty and how, shooters, it's always Call of Duty, and I have lots of arguments for that. So apparently Call of Duty makes people want to commit suicide and be violent. Okay, we've heard this argument. Then he goes into Watch Dogs, and he says that Watch Dogs, he goes, what are we thinking? Watch Dogs is teaching people how to hack. And that's when the tears just came flowing down my face with laughter. And he vented. He was Van Damme serious. He was very concerned. And I could not breathe. I was like, oh yeah, because a one-touch smartphone hack system totally exists right now. I'm like, dude, YouTube teaches people how to hack. What the fuck are you talking about? So he goes in this ridiculous rant. If you haven't watched it, watch it. I want to believe that he's just trolling because there's no fucking way. What? So I was in tears. It was too fucking good, and
Come on.
I'm annoyed that this conversation keeps perpetuating that video games are, the root of everything that's wrong with society. But Glenn Beck really puts a special spin on it where I can laugh. So it's not, yes, Van Damme serious, Pixie.
That's gonna be another one of those T-shirts we're gonna make from Boss. Van Damme serious.
So I'm going to turn it over to Kate because you've been around the block, and this conversation, I think is far from done. But, as far as, video games affecting people in a negative way, I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, sure. After the Newtown shooting, the IGDA was very vocal about this because, a lot of legislators, again, after every major event like that, which obviously we all recognize is extremely tragic, and we can all speculate on what the reasons were. I mean, a lot of people point to mental health, which I think is a huge issue that is overlooked.
Yeah.
It's just interesting how in the media and often in the politicians, they don't even ask the question first, did this person have a history of mental health problems? They ask, did they play video games?
Yeah, did they have an Xbox?
And
Right.
obviously, if they played video games, then they have a mental health problem. So, it's really challenging to get past this notion of what games are. I mean, obviously, in 2012, the Supreme Court ruled that video games are protected free speech, which puts them on the same level as literature, paintings, television, movies, all that good stuff. But the problem is there is a huge public perception issue. I mean, games for the most part are still perceived as a toy. They're not art. And so it's like a frisbee. You throw the frisbee, and if all it does is fly back and hit you in the head, then it's defective and it needs to be regulated. So in the same way, games, if you play the games and they supposedly produce a behavior that is not expected and it extends beyond the gameplay experience, then obviously they have to be regulated, which is what Schwarzenegger did with the case in California, which brought the case to the Supreme Court. So it's interesting this argument keeps coming up. I mean, I'm convinced that it's not going to go away until we have the generational shift. So we're probably looking at another 10 years or so when the people who are legislating are actually people who grew up with Nintendo, N64, Xbox, all this stuff, and they're the ones who
nice.
It will
be. It's like reliving the pot discussions when I was a kid, you know?
That's exactly
It's like,
right.
and now that those people are in Congress, they're starting to...
Exactly.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I cannot stress enough how beautifully, and Kate is completely right. You guys, IGDA was very outspoken about it and always has been. And I have to tell you guys, if you're not really involved with IGDA, get on the newsletter, get on the list, because these are our advocates, not just for the devs, but for the community. And they are great, responsible, level-headed place to turn to for these sorts of things. So I really can't stress enough to go to IGDA, support them as much as you can. And
they do more than just the devs. You guys are very active with the college kids and the communities and the campuses, and making sure that we're in there and we're talking to the students, giving them some heads up on what the real world is going to be like, and mentoring. I know that is heavily touted, and you can be a member, guys. It's not just for devs, so take a look at the website, right, Kate? Anybody can be a member.
Well, because we do have student chapters all over the place, and we've got a scholars program, which is any student, they can, who is an IGDA student member, can apply to be a scholar. And in those cases, like we at GDC, they get a free pass, they get paired with a mentor in their area of specialty that they want to go into. They go on studio tours and do all kinds of behind the scenes stuff as well. We're doing that at E3 next week. We're going to be doing it at GDC Europe Games Comp. We do it at the Tokyo Game Show. And no, it's great because, I mean, people who want to get into this industry, we know, as I think a lot of us know, we know people who want to be in the industry, and they're kind of starry-eyed, like, I want to make games, or they'll say, I've got the best idea for a game ever.
Where do I start? Oh,
yeah. Yeah, how
That's
do I
always a good
start? What do
question.
I want to do? And so I probably answer these questions in email and through our contact form, and even in chat almost every single day with people about so we're trying to help the developers who are obviously seasoned and in the field, but also the people who want to be developers, because we have to keep nurturing the next wave and make sure they know what they're getting into.
That's what we're all about. That's why we created that scholarship foundation. Really, you guys that are out there watching and listening, and you want to be like people like Chris, who just wrote that article on IC for us in the industry. I want to break through. It's not all as glamorous as what you think it is. There's a lot of hours to be spent, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of time away from your family, all to be accumulated into said game for people like us to pick apart and say that should have been blue or red or green because I want it that way, or I want a cash shop, or whatever the case may be. So if you really think that this is what you want to do, check them out. take a look around. There's lots and lots of opportunity for you, and lots of people who are willing to mentor you and answer those questions, and not say that there's a dumb question or stupid question on your behalf, because there is no such thing.
No, and that's one thing I want to stress too, is that one of the great things about this industry, and I think it's true of a lot of creative industries, but I know in my experience with games in particular, is that we're in a medium that continues to evolve like year on year. I mean, it is rapidly changing because we are so technology dependent. And what I find, that with some exception, but what I find in general is that most of the people in the game industry, even people who've been in it for 20, 30 years, are very humble. I mean, they kind of feel like they're still learning at the same time. And so, some of these huge names in the industry that people revere, they're just people like us, and you can go up to them and ask questions. And most of the time, if they've got the time on their hands, they're more than willing to talk to you, and just, there's a sense of humility that comes out that is, that's really cool. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, I love, it is a constantly learning process. I'm working with Michael Menheim now on projects, and he's been, he was with EA a long time ago. He's been around the block too, and he's very humble, and he's constantly learning. And in turn, he's been a great mentor for me and writing and all that stuff. So what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of start wrapping up with some shout outs. So I am going to start with Miss Kate Edwards. If you have any shout outs, any projects you want to draw some light to, now would be the time.
One thing that
Yes.
IGDA, we did what we call a developer satisfaction survey back in March and April. And at E3 next week, we're going to make an announcement about the results. And then about a week or two later, we're going to actually release the summary report. So if you're curious about how developers are feeling about their jobs, about the industry, about where they see it going, all kinds of issues like that, you might want to check it out. It's going to be on the igda.org website.
That's made a good read.
So it'll be interesting. I've seen the data. It's really interesting.
Awesome. I'm stoked now. Only nerds get stoked about data like this. Let's go to Nicole. What's your shout outs, babe?
Just quick, the other members of the Star Citizen Motley collaborators that helped me put together the video, or actually that did most of the work on the video. I did the editing and some starring in the video at the beginning. And to Julie and Rushus, who is a member of the Star Citizen community. Julie is the one that we are trying to raise money for. And to all the people that are going to donate, thank you so very, very much.
All right, Pixers, what's your shout outs?
So shout out to Loic Dansart, one of the developers and creator for Melody's Escape. He let me interview him for the feature focus that we're doing called Behind the Curtain, a dev
It's
story.
It's gonna be so good, guys.
It's the article is done. It's going to be up on the website really soon. I'm super excited about that because this is the first
in the
step
series
into rolling this out. He was a really awesome guy. Was more than willing to spend the time talking to me. I really appreciated it. And shout outs to the 2 people in our chat who are on the IC team with me. Fazeltov, who is officially ADC. And Diver, who is Jericho, who is the top laner.
Top laner. You hear that? Top laner.
All right,
What does
Carmen.
that mean?
Miss Triv, what about you?
Oh, my shout outs for this evening go to Lot of Soul, which is a non-profit anime group. They do a animated iOS webcomic, and their stories are very engaging about orphan culture in various countries, like Buffalo Girls. If you guys are not familiar with Buffalo Girls, you need to catch up and Google on it. Each of the characters in their comic comes from a various country with something going on, like child slavery or something like that, and the plight of them breaking free from said particular incident, and they have superpowers and they battle it out based upon whatever it is that they have overcome. And all of the money, every single dime of the money for this comic book goes straight to their orphan foundation to assist with kids getting homes and the transition that occurs when someone is adopted, because that is a big deal. These guys have amazing graphics. If you haven't seen it, you need to go over there and check it out. We'll put some links in the chat. They're amazing. I'm in awe of anyone who has this artistic ability to draw anything other than a stick figure, because I can't do it. But the animation is is sweet. I got to tell you, I'm very impressed. And we're going to be working with them later in the year to help them out with their charity as one of our friends or champions of the roundtable.
Cool.
Kate dissed us.
Kate totally dissed us. Oh, she's here. She's spooling.
My video just crazy.
That's all right.
Well,
we can still hear you.
You can still hear. On that note, I would like to give a shout out to Miss Kate Edwards for being here. Shout out to IGDA for letting us take her away from her very busy schedule to hang out with us. I want to give a shout out to Geeks Who Drink because I am a quizmaster in training.
Woo, quizmaster.
So I am. If you want to see me apprentice quizmaster, I will be training under Michael Zimmerman at Gatsby's in Arlington Heights, Illinois. So if you're in that area, June 18th, 7:30 p.m. I will be there. He might even let me read off a round. You never know. So that's one of my new fun projects. No, not at all. It just means I have all the answers and I can feel smarter than all of you.
The last before we go, I think we need to tell everyone thanks a lot and congratulations to our new sponsor. Who would that be, Bonksy?
Our new sponsor is Plantronics Games.
Yes.
So we are going to be getting a slew of awesome stuff to review. And it's good for us. It means we get some equipment that is high end that'll help us out. Keep it professional. Pixie's totally stoked because
and that means we'll be having some giveaways for you folks who are hanging out in our streams and in our chats.
Time.
And if you have not followed, liked, whatever the other buttons are, mash them because that's going to be how you're going to be able to enter to get the latest and greatest headphones and whatever else they give us to share with you. And again, thank you guys for showing up and hanging out with us.
Yeah, we love you guys.
Our show this week, and we'll see you next week.
Sign it off.
Bonks and I will be
music for us to dance, right?
Yes, we're dancing out. Everybody boogie down. Come on. Let's go, Aegon.
Ugh.
We're dancing out.
When we're off air because I will just keep dancing.
Yeah, tell us when we're off air. And then get ready to start streaming my Star Citizen stuff.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Kate, thank you so much for joining
us. Thank you, Kate. We had so much fun.
That was fun. Just in time, my video is really screwing up here.
Oh, you're in Microsoft language. It happens.
Yeah, it had to tell me.
We totally are on